So this is my basic household toolkit. It all goes in a neat little bag like that over there, which is a good way of keeping it all together, and you know you've got it all when you need it. So we'll home in on this. So we start at the front row here. So we've got a key to the meter cupboard. We've got a selection of screws, pencils, Sharpie, marker pen, one of these useful tools which you can put different things into it, different types of, and there's also the electric rechargeable, which is rechargeable by a USB lead these days with a little light on it. That's quite useful because it saves all these other tools in the bag. It's quite small, got a light on, got interchangeable bits, so it does a lot of different jobs, and if you buy it at the right time they needn't be that expensive, but it depends on your budget. If your budget is modest, go for the traditional screwdriver set and build your way up, or get it for a present. There's a magnetic torpedo spirit level, fluorescent coloured 3-meter tape, just in case you make sure you don't lose it, a pair of working scissors, a bit of insulation tape, pack of new blades, 2 scrapers, a file, a chisel. I tend to have chosen a sort of 1/2-inch chisel, 12mm, something like that, because it's probably one of the most useful, because you can use it for small jobs or bigger jobs. There's a skeleton or frame gun on the end for your silicone, junior hacksaw, Allen keys. There's the Tableau dry lube, which is a silicone lube which is great for curtain rails and hinges. It's not oily. And then you've got the WD-40 little can of that, which is useful. And there's also the Marksman spray there, chalk marking spray, which is useful when you're doing little building projects, putting up cabinets and things on the walls. Not so usable these days, but there's a wire stripper there and a wire cutter, which is the red and black handle thing. But these days most things come with a plug on, so you don't need that. You need a large claw hammer and a smaller lightweight hammer, little paintbrush for brushing little bits of dust up, adjustable spanner, pincers, which are the black things there, which have got a useful little end on there, which is useful for easing out little nails. And that's good for pulling out picture hooks and things like that. Just put something behind it to stop it marking the wall, but that curve gives it a lot of gives you the ability to give you the leverage when you're pulling out a nail or a screw. And you've got the side cutters there, which are principally for cutting wire. A pair of pliers, which can be used for pulling things, and also there's also used for cutting. The long nose pliers are good for getting into difficult spots, and also for cutting wire. But also they're quite useful for holding little tiny panel pins if you're nailing things into a piece of wood. Saves your fingers getting beaten to pulp. A Stanley knife or a craft knife, a better quality one is usually better with a heavyweight handle. And then there's a bevel gauge there, which is useful for working out all the different angles that you need to work out. Not probably so necessary in a basic toolkit, but it can be a very, very useful tool. The other item which is surprisingly useful is a little bit of sandpaper. Always keep a bit of sandpaper in your bag, because it always comes in handy. These are a few items that are sort of optional extras, if you like, that I keep in my bag. So you've got the adjustable wrench here, which is good. A hook to hook your paint kettle on if you're doing a bit of painting. This is a funny looking gadget, but it's useful for screwing those nuts onto the back of a toilet seat, which is in very difficult, inaccessible places. So that's sometimes quite useful. Telescopic Magnet, which is useful for finding things that got stuck down those little crevices in the car or in the house. Gimlet or bradawl, which basically is useful for starting off the making a screw hole. So it just starts the hole off, makes it a lot easier to put the screw in. And this is a thing I don't really use that much, but it's for finding live wire, so you can test whether a wire is live. So that's sometimes can be quite useful. This is one of those items that's called Tableau Dry Lube. It's a silicone spray, which you wonder when you see it on the shelves whether it's of any use, but I've been using this for decades now, and it really is brilliant for hinges, zips, bikes, and also particularly for curtain rails, because so you can use it to get rid of the dust on curtain rails, and the silicone residue that's left behind makes them slide much easier, or much more easily, whichever way you look at it. But definitely worth having a small can of that in your, this is quite a big can, but it's quite a good thing to have in your kit. And it's also made in England. Hooray, bonus. If you think I've missed anything out, please let me know. Just make a comment and we can add it into the next video, but hopefully this should give you the basic kit to do most household jobs. And amazingly, almost all of this, apart from possibly the skeleton frame gun and the large tin of Tableau silicone spray, go into that little bag. So that's really handy. And miraculously, all that fits into that little bag with the frame gun, skeleton gun, whatever you want to call it, on top. And the useful little carrying handle. There's also a strap to put it over your shoulder, so ideal. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and do give it the thumbs up, like it, and then hopefully we'll be able to help a few people.